I'll tell you a really cool story. This happened on Hanukkah. I don't know, it was the second or third day of Hanukkah. I went to the kollel where I learn in the mornings, and it was just me and another guy in the kollel, one of the younger light in the kollel. So he told me, he said, I have to tell you a Maisa. He said, last night I was here, and in the back of the Beis Medrash, it was me and another guy. The other guy was a balabas. So the balabas sitting in the back asks me a question, a halacha question, because I didn't have the answer to the question, but we started discussing it. Meantime, this yeshiva bacher walks in. 15-year-old kid hears the conversation and says, oh, the halacha is as follows. He happened to be learning it, whatever he knew. So the balabas in the back of the Beis Medrash says, he said, I was so impressed with this boy. So he said, what's your name? He comes, he says, here, I want to give you K'amcha Yisroel. He pulls out $50 and he says, here's $50. So the boy says, I don't want to take it. No, I want you to take it, I want you to take it. No, I don't want to take it. I'm so impressed. You know the halach? He says, I don't want to take it, I don't want to take it. And he fights, he's pushing. The boy would not take it. Meantime, he's looking at the boy. The boy's shoes were like disheveled and ripped or whatever, and his pants were, he looked like, Nebuch. Now, it could just be, he's a good yeshiva bacher and just hasn't he's got like 9 other changes of clothing, just hasn't used them yet, But that's not what this balabas assumed. He looked at him and he said the kid could use the money, and the boy would not take it. So eventually the boy said, fine. He took it, and then he said, and now I want to give you Hanukkah gelt. And he gives it back to the balabas, and he wouldn't take it, and he leaves. This balabas says to the kol yungalite that was there, he said to him, can you find out who this boy is? I want to, first of all, he said, I could see he doesn't have like his clothing. No, but he said, I want to give him clothing. So he says to the kollel guy, he says, well, what does it cost for a new set of clothing? He says, it depends who's buying it. He said, it's clothing for you, clothing for me. He said, we have different. He said, what does it cost to get kids clothing? So he tells him, okay. He says, you know what? I want to give him $2,000. I'm giving $2,000 to get this kid new clothing, new shoes, new suits, new clothing. Find out whatever. Contact the Rosh Hashiva. Let's give it to him. So meantime, he's reaching out. He says, okay, I got in contact. I know who it is, and I'll get the money to him. So he says, okay, I'm coming with cash tonight, $2,000. He says, 1 second. He said, who's this kid's family? He said, his father's a rebbe in some out-of-town place, whatever. And big family, they're not in a great financial situation. He says, okay, I'm giving $1,000 a month for the next 12 months to this family. He said, obviously all anonymous. He said, find out, how do I do it? He said, and this is what I'm giving. The kollel guy says to me, he said, last night, he said, we're sitting in Beis Medrash, this whole thing happened. He said, we just had a halacha shayla, and this boy comes over just to answer. He says, he gives the answer to the shayla and doesn't want to take $50, walks out with $14,000 being gifted to his family. He said, this morning, he said that father who was given the $12,000, he said had another baby boy this morning, another baby born to the family. Now, to me, mi K'amcha Yisroel. Mi K'amcha Yisroel. He has no idea who this kid is, nothing. Did he have to go that extra mile to find out? The boy looked disheveled. Okay, look disheveled. Fine, look disheveled. So what? So someone looked at you. We see people all the time who look disheveled. Okay, so maybe if it was a family member or a close friend, we would be concerned. We want to make a little donation. We want to help them out. We'll do it quietly. But a complete stranger looks disheveled, and then you're going to go give thousands and thousands of dollars. This is just a way of going above and beyond, seeking out ways to come together, be'achdus, like the one mishpacha that we're supposed to be in such a special way.